The whisper of infinite regress. Have you ever paused to ponder the very fabric of your beliefs? A seemingly simple question, like a whisper echoing through the quiet corridors of thought, beckons us to explore an unfathomable mystery. How, one might ask, do we justify our convictions without tumbling into an endless chasm of questions, where each answer births a delicate dance of reasoning that spirals into infinity? Imagine, if you will, a gentle breeze rustling the leaves of a great oak. This breeze carries with it a tale as old as time, an intricate riddle wrapped in the soft haze of unknowing. It invites us to consider the infinite regress of reasons, a concept that not only puzzles the mind, but also weaves a rich tapestry of implications for how we perceive truth and knowledge. A familiar scene unfolds. A child, bright-eyed and curious, stands before you, his mind a garden of questions. Why is the sky blue? He inquires, tilting his head slightly, as if to catch a glimpse of an answer dancing on the horizon. You reply, because sunlight scatters through the atmosphere. Yet, the child's quest does not cease. It unfurls like a shimmering ribbon. Why does sunlight scatter? He presses, and you offer, because of how light interacts with molecules in the air. But here, dear reader, we find ourselves at the edge of a swirling vortex. Each answer births another question, and soon you are adrift in the current of why. With every response, the horizon recedes, an endless chain that spirals downwards, perhaps without end. One might wish to say, that's just the way it is. But even this seems a flimsy anchor against the tide of curiosity that pulls at us relentlessly. This dance of questioning the infinite regress is not merely a philosophical enigma. It is a gentle reminder of the complexities woven into the tapestry of our understanding. Philosophers have pondered this riddle for centuries, their whisperings echoing in the recesses of time. One might wonder, when we seek to justify a belief, do we not call upon another belief? In a delicate sequence that stretches like the gossamer threads of a spider's web. If we do not halt this chain, we risk becoming enmeshed in an endless loop, drifting ever deeper into an abyss of justification. And yet, the question lingers, where should we pause, if at all? There are pathways through this conceptual labyrinth. One possibility is foundationalism, which gently suggests that some beliefs may stand alone, shimmering with a self-evident glow, untouched by the shadows of further inquiry. A fleeting thought, a tree seen in the soft light of dawn, a pang of pain. These sensations ground us, offering a firm foothold against the swirling questions that threaten to envelop us. But let us not overlook the allure of coherentism, which paints a different picture. Here, beliefs do not exist in isolation, rather, they dance in harmony, a magnificent symphony of ideas. Picture a spider web, each silken strand interwoven with care. In this world, no single belief holds dominion over the others. Rather, it is the collective strength of the web that brings stability, gently anchoring us against the pull of infinite questioning. And yet, some, the infinitists, might embrace the infinite regress itself, viewing it not as a barrier, but as a boundless horizontal landscape of reasoning that spirals endlessly like the echoes of a distant bell. They see value in each step along the chain, convinced that the journey matters more than the destination. Yet, as we navigate these philosophical currents, we must acknowledge that the infinite regress of reasons finds its way into the very fabric of our daily lives, weaving threads of inquiry through the moral beliefs we hold dear. Consider this. You believe that kindness leads to happiness, yet within that belief lies a cascade of questions begging for answers. Why is happiness good? Why is well-being valuable? The river of inquiry flows on, its depths uncharted and vast, even the realms of science, striving to unveil the secrets of the universe, cannot escape this intricate web. A theory may rest upon empirical evidence, yet each layer of understanding crumbles into deeper layers of assumptions and questions just beneath the surface. Skepticism, too, whispers in the shadows, reminding us of the limits of our knowing. If every truth must be justified, and each justification sends us spiraling downward, Can we truly claim to know anything at all? The reverberations of this doubt ricochet through our minds, urging us to confront the very essence of our reasoning. Yet amidst this complexity lies a quiet invitation. The infinite regress of reasons is more than a puzzle to solve. It is a lens, a prism reflecting the nuanced layers of our understanding. In facing the infinite regress, we begin to grasp the delicate interplay between our beliefs, urging us to cultivate a deeper appreciation for the mysteries we navigate. Ultimately, dear traveler of thought, this paradox, this infinite regression offers no simple resolution. It teaches us that some questions linger in the twilight, ever elusive. They beckon us to ask, to ponder, and to dwell in the enchanting haze of uncertainty. And perhaps, within that very uncertainty, we find a truth worth seeking, a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge is a journey, not a destination, forever drawing us into the depths of the unknown. In the quiet depths of contemplation, one might wonder, is something deemed good because the gods command it? Or do the gods decree it as such because it is, in essence, good? This query, deceptively simple, wraps around the mind like mist, inviting a slow unraveling of deeper truths hidden beneath layers of time and thought. Enter the realm of the Euthyphro dilemma, a philosophical conundrum birthed from the dialogues of the ancient sage Socrates. In this delicate dance of ideas, we find ourselves poised at the edge of understanding, gazing into an abyss of moral uncertainty that murmurs softly, beckoning us deeper. The essence of this dilemma weaves itself into the fabric of belief with an almost hypnotic allure. On one hand sways the notion that goodness is merely a reflection of divine command. Here, the gods unveil their will, painting morality in stark black and white. What if divine edicts, those hallowed proclamations, shape the essence of right and wrong? Under such a canopy, moral clarity appears straightforward. We need only to abide by the decrees of the divine. Yet, shadows linger beneath this surface, for if the essence of goodness can shift with a mere command, then morality teeters on the precipice of arbitrariness, susceptible to whims that might dictate that which feels inherently wrong. Picture, if you will, a world where lies can be blessed if the gods so will it. The idea clings to the thoughts like cobwebs, creating a bittersweet tension within the heart. What if stealing were deemed virtuous by divine authority? It transforms the very notion of goodness into a fleeting shadow, draping morality in ambiguity. And yet, there exists another pathway, a quiet understanding that the gods may not architect goodness at all, but rather recognize its essence and affirm it as worthy of reverence. This concept unfurls its petals gently, suggesting an order beyond divine whim, a moral landscape that exists independently of the celestial. Here, the gods become not the architects, but the custodians of a truth that is bigger than themselves, reminding us that morality can indeed transcend the divine. Whispers of this alternative viewpoint glide through our thoughts. If goodness exists as a constant, a universal truth that exists in harmony with the cosmos, then the gods, though powerful, are not its ultimate source. They are guardians of a higher revelation, a truth loftier than the edicts they bestow. The complexity of this realization draws us deeper into the labyrinth of the human condition, where belief systems intertwine with moral understanding, calling into question the sources of our values. Consider the faiths that cradle such dilemmas amongst their tenets. In Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, the divine often stands as the ultimate arbiter of morality. Yet, under the tender scrutiny of the Euthyphro dilemma, the weight of this assertion begins to shift. It sways like a tree in a gentle breeze, giving rise to inquiries that evoke the very essence of righteousness. Upon what unchanging foundation does morality rest, if it is but a reflection of divine decree? Yet, philosophers have long intertwined themselves with this riddle, seeking to find an answer within the sublime nature of goodness itself. They contemplate a world where moral essence flows like a river from the nature of the divine. If the qualities of love and justice are at the heart of God, then the divine commands mirror those fundamental attributes, creating a tapestry of morality that is decidedly less arbitrary. But then, we encounter our own echoing question: if goodness is an intrinsic part of the divine, does not the nature of that goodness rise above even the gods themselves? As we drift further into this reverie of morality, we ponder the implications that extend beyond the confines of sacred texts. In secular musings, we ask where moral standards arise, if not from the divine. Are they birthed from a collective human experience, woven into the societal fabric, or do they linger in the ether as universal truths that reside just beyond our grasp? The disputes over what is deemed right begin to emerge, each one inviting us to reflect on the nature of our beliefs. Perhaps, dear reader, we might pause the inquiry here and reframe our exploration. Instead of seeking an answer to whether goodness resides with the gods or in some unyielding realm, we might instead wonder what, indeed, constitutes goodness at all. In the murmurs of philosophers, we hear whispers of consequentialism where the weight of goodness rests on the outcomes of our actions, leading us to ponder happiness and the alleviation of suffering. But what if these consequences elude consensus, slipping like grains of sand through our fingers, leaving behind a question mark where certainties once resided? Alternatively, the principles of deontology beckon us to consider moral duties that stand resolute against the tides of consequence. Yet, even within this framework, conundrums linger, presenting us with the dilemmas of rigidity and the shadows of compassion. In this dreamy exploration, the Euthyphro dilemma envelops us like a soft fog, urging us to traverse the intricate relationship between morality, authority, and understanding. It compels us to ponder whether moral truths are to be created or discovered, fixed or fluid, dependent upon the divine or birthed from human experience. As we drift along the periphery of these thoughts, the gentle allure of our journey remains, pulling us into a stillness of contemplation, a quiet reminder that the essence of goodness may ever be a profound and ongoing journey, as we seek to unveil the mysteries of what it means to be good. In the end, it is not simple answers that await us, but rather an ever-deepening quest to understand the very nature of our moral existence. In the whisper of omniscience, a mysterious dance of knowledge and freedom. Have you ever paused, on the brink of thought, to ponder the shimmering veil of all that we think we know? Like a gentle tide caressing the shore of understanding, a question lingers, beckoning. Is it truly possible for a being to know everything, even its own future? This question, as old as time itself, nestles in the heart of a profound mystery, the paradox of omniscience, where certainty intertwines with the delicate strands of choice. Envision, if you will, a being cloaked in the fabric of all knowledge, a whisper at the edge of awareness. This entity, by its very nature, grasps every event that flickers in the cosmic dance, each decision crafted by both the smallest creatures and the grandest of forces. Yet, as we delve deeper, we stumble upon a riddle wrapped within a secret. If this being knows the very decisions it will make, can it truly act with freedom? The echoes of such inquiries vibrate through the air, teasing us with their complexity. To gaze upon the essence of omniscience is to wander into a realm where time dances like mist. This celestial being, radiating wisdom, comprehends not merely the palpable truths of the now, but the intricate tapestry of past, present, and future interwoven into its very essence. Picture, if you will, its intention to lift a stone on the morrow. Today, it knows that intention, suffused with certainty, but therein lies a tender dilemma. If the omniscient being remains aware of this future action, can it choose otherwise? And if its will sways, what of the truth known before? It is a puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit, yet cannot be ignored. As daylight gently fades and shadows stretch, let us drift into a scenario and narrative, rich with implications. Imagine this omniscient figure, poised with a quill held aloft, scripting every event in a tome that precisely captures the symphony of existence. Each page, untouched yet bursting with the essence of destiny, holds the knowledge of its actions. Yet, a flutter of existential inquiry stirs the air. Once inscribed, Can the being deviate from the path laid bare? If it does, the pages crumble under the weight of contradiction. If it cannot, then it dances, ensnared within the borders of its own foreknowledge. The tension, akin to the slow swell of waves lapping against the shore, weaves a persistent cord between the realms of knowing and choosing. Some ethereal sages of thought assert that this conundrum springs forth from our limited grasp of what it means to foresee. They propose that foreknowledge does not imprison potentiality, like watching a mere reflection of an event already played. It does not bend the intentions of those who act, yet, even as this notion swells, the heart of the paradox remains a flickering light just out of reach. Now consider the notion of randomness, the unexplained and unforeseen bursts of energy that whisper through the cosmos. Can this omniscient entity truly know the unknowable, like the unpredictable decay of a solitary atom? If this being possesses insight into such phenomena, we are left to ponder the fabric of chance itself. Is the universe merely a tapestry of chaotic threads, or is the essence of randomness but an illusion obscured by the veil of omniscience? With each gentle unraveling of thought, we must confront the intricate layers within the self. For this being, if it comprehends all, must also face the enigma of self-knowledge. Can it peer into the depths of its own consciousness without spiraling into an infinite loop? Like standing between two mirrors, each reflecting the other in an endless cascade of insight, some wise philosophers and theologians tread softly, redefining the very essence of omniscience. They muse that true knowledge does not encompass the freedom to act in the future, suggesting that not even the omniscient can penetrate the yet to be decided. Instead, it understands every possible outcome, a vast expanse of choices yet unmade, a canvas waiting for brushstrokes of intention. This perspective cradles the idea of free will within the embrace of omnipotence, though it gently restricts the all-knowing nature in a dance of distinction. Still, the paradox lingers, veiled and elusive, perhaps forever just beyond the grasp of human understanding. Time itself, swirling and shifting, turns our very perception upon its head. If time is not a mere stream, but a vast expanse where past, present, and future exist simultaneously, does this not allow for an omniscient being's knowledge to harmonize with the flow of choice? A world of possibilities awaits within this weave, yet challenges our simple, linear conception of reality. Ultimately, as we sink into the drowsy embrace of contemplation, we confront the profound complexity of this paradox, the entwined existence of infinite knowledge, alongside the freedom of action. The exploration of such mysteries draws us into a realm rich with inquiry, pushing the boundaries of logic and inviting us to admire the intricate interplay of what we comprehend and what dances just beyond our awareness. Perhaps the truth glimmers quietly in the shadows, waiting to be unearthed, inviting us to ponder endlessly. After all, some questions are not meant to be answered, but embraced lingering in the twilight of curiosity. What if I whispered a question into the hush of your thoughts, a gentle nudge toward the edges of perception? Can we truly fathom the depths of existence, where life and death dance in an eternal waltz, intertwined yet distinct? In that delicate space, where each thread of possibility weaves its own tapestry, lies an unsettling enigma, a thought experiment so profound it ripples through the very fabric of our understanding. The murky shadows of quantum mechanics hold secrets not easily uncovered. Imagine, if you will, the many worlds interpretation, a labyrinthine hypothesis suggesting that within the tiniest flickers of the universe, every conceivable outcome of a quantum event unfolds like blossoms in a hidden garden. Each decision, every moment, each branch of reality unfurling into its own timeline, a burgeoning path where possibilities stretch into infinity. As we explore this realm, a soft undercurrent urges us to listen closely to the whispers that beckon us forward. At the center of this exploration lies a thought experiment known as quantum suicide, a name that conjures both intrigue and discomfort. Here, we step toward darker waters, where an ordinary life meets the extraordinary. Picture a scene that echoes with familiarity, shimmers with the stranger setup reminiscent of Schrödinger's cat, yet the protagonist is not a mere creature cloaked in uncertainty. It is a human, entangled in the very essence of existence. A machine, linked to the capricious spin of a particle, stands ready to reveal the fate of our daring soul. With each measurement, a choice emerges spin one way, and the curtain falls upon life, the end of consciousness, spin another, and the light prevails, granting yet another breath. In this curious experiment, reality unfurls like a soft sigh. As the particle yields its secrets, universe is split, branching in myriad directions. From a distant vantage point, observers may perceive the experiment's simplicity, a life marked by survival or ceaseless curiosity interwoven with the inescapable spectre of death. Yet, beneath this surface lies profound strangeness, for within the web of lifelines, the experiencing individual finds themselves ensnared in the fabric of realities where they persist, unyielding yet distinct. It is in this unfolding narrative that we encounter the notion of quantum immortality, an idea both mesmerizing and disquieting. Suppose each time the veil of death is drawn back, the conscious mind shifts seamlessly, never tasting the bitterness of finality, remaining only in the vibrant threads of existence. Each brush with danger becomes a passage to yet another reality, a continual leap into the branches where survival prevails, like a dreamer soaring through the night sky, weightless and free. This creates a sense of invincibility, though it raises deeper questions about the essence of identity and the continuity of the self. As the echoes of thought linger, we are confronted with unsettling implications. Death, at least in our personal narratives, may not present itself as a definitive end. If quantum immortality is an unbound truth, what becomes of our understanding of mortality? Our contemplations drift toward the nature of consciousness and existence, intertwining like shadows in a dimly lit room, each confessing fragments of a larger truth, one we yearn to grasp, yet remain unable to hold entirely. Yet, let us not be hasty in our assessments, for quantum suicide rests not within the firm grasp of scientific validation. It is a mere whisper, a theoretical exploration designed to cast light on the enigmatic nature of quantum mechanisms. In the delicate balance of the universe, where concepts like superposition and entanglement hover just beyond reach, we find ourselves enveloped in contemplation, straddling the thin line where science, philosophy, and metaphysics gently intertwine, probing at our understanding of reality in a quiet, persistent manner. Critics arise, questioning the very fabric of this thought experiment, suggesting that it stretches the boundaries of its own interpretation, asserting that consciousness might not hold the power to select paths through the infinite realms. Indeed, moral complexities enshroud the heart of the matter, blurring lines between abstract theory and the profound weight of human mortality. Yet, as we linger in this twilight of understanding, let us surrender to the dance of thoughts that arise, allowing ourselves to float in the quiet undertow of fascination. Quantum suicide, despite the swirling clouds of doubt, unveils a world where every observation beckons exploration, reminding us of the vastness that stretches beyond our limited perception. Beneath it all, we are left with gentle whispers and an open invitation to ponder the nature of reality, the act of observation, and the intricate tapestry that binds our lives in a universe teeming with intricacies yet to be understood. What mysteries lie ahead, waiting patiently in the folds of time? What truths perhaps remain elusive, shrouded in the dreamlike haze of possibility? The answers, like drifting leaves in a peaceful stream, beckon us to explore, eternally curious, eternally awake. In the quiet corridors of thought, where shadows linger and whispers echo, a question gently stirs the mind. What is it that binds our beliefs with the threads of certainty? The problem of induction, a subtle yet paramount challenge, a realm of philosophy, invites us to ponder those very threads. Yet, how often do we drift through our days, seldom pausing to contemplate the intricate dance of experience and expectation? Imagine, if you will, the sun rising each morning, casting its golden warmth across our world. From this simple constancy, we weave the fabric of our understanding, confidently assuming the dawn will greet us once more. But nestled within this rhythm lurks an unsettling question, a gentle murmur at the edge of awareness. How can we truly know that tomorrow shall mirror today? In the depths of thought, this inquiry unfurls like a delicate bloom knot with the jarring clash of abrupt revelations. But in the soft cadence of a beloved tale, the philosopher David Hume, a luminary in the shadows of rationality, beckoned us toward contemplation. He posited that our reliance on induction, this habit of expecting the familiar simply because it has been, may not rest upon the firm ground of reason, but rather upon a tenuous foundation of repetition and comfort. The sun's arrival each morning is not a guarantee for the next. It is merely what our senses have recorded. Hume's whisper evokes a sense of unease, buried deep within the fabric of our assurances. What if the past does not promise the future? Picture a rooster, crowing each dawn as if coaxing the sun to rise, presuming its call holds sway over celestial bodies. In truth, this quaint belief, absurd yet strangely human, illustrates our propensity to view patterns as truths, for they are, in essence, mere coincidences masquerading as certainties. The fabric of induction can beguile us, leading us astray in its intricate tapestry. And then, consider the turkey, a creature confidently nestled within a predictable routine, fed each day by a kindly farmer. Day by day, it builds an unwavering faith in that rhythm, unaware of the shadow looming at the turn of the calendar. Just before Thanksgiving, the scene shifts irrevocably. The farmer's hand withdraws. The past, rich with promises of sustenance, fails the turkey in its hour of need, rendering the lens of induction futile, shattered against the stark reality of shifting circumstances. Such musings beckon us to explore the profound implications that dance within the realms of science, probability, and decision-making. The realm of science, like a slowly flowing river, relies profoundly on induction. Each observation, a stone placed within the stream the laws of nature form as we traverse its waters. Yet these laws, crafted with care, stand as mere assumptions, awaiting the gentle touch of new discoveries to reshape our understanding. Consider how Newton's celestial choreography, once deemed absolute, yielded to Einstein's revolutionary notes, a reminder of the ever-shifting sands beneath our feet. As we contemplate probability's embrace, we find ourselves cradled by the tender hope of equal chances, a soft coin flip balancing on a moment's edge. Yet what if, beneath its gleaming surface, the coin were biased? Each spin becomes a dream we trust, while tethered to the whispers of past experience. In the labyrinth of investments, too, patterns rise and fall, shrouded in uncertainty, a familiar refrain that invites us to tread carefully, lest we stumble into the depths of unanticipated shadows. Yet, as we journey through these contemplations, we must remain ever mindful of our autonomy in belief. If certainty eludes us, must we abandon the search, or can we, like gentle pragmatists, admit that though induction wears a cloak of imperfection, it serves us well in navigating the tides of existence? In our everyday lives, it helps us predict weather patterns and forge decisions, urging us to embrace the fluid dance of uncertainty while guiding us to adapt as circumstances shift. As we continue, let us glance toward the horizon, where the notion of deduction beckons, a contrasting stream of logic that starts from the universal to illuminate specifics, yet the bittersweet reality emerges. While this pathway may guide us with certainty, it does not unveil new horizons, content to reaffirm the familiar. Herein lies the delicate balance between induction and deduction. Both serve as guides, illuminating the complexity of our human reasoning. At the precipice of contemplation, a gentle understanding blooms. There is no straightforward resolution to the problem of induction, but rather an invitation to think and question as we wander through life's intricate mosaic. In surrendering our rigid beliefs, we unearth the power of curiosity, allowing ourselves to adapt to the unfolding mystery of existence. It is with this sense of wonder that we turn to the notion of Buffett's teleporter, a thought experiment shrouded in myth and reverie. Imagine, if you will, stepping into a device that could whisk you across the fabric of space, all the while pondering, are you still the same when you arrive? At first, this question is gentle, perhaps even dismissible, yet the deeper layers unravel slowly, teasing the essence of identity itself. As the machine scans you, mapping each delicate cell, your memories are woven into the very fibers of the cosmos. The original fades into oblivion, and from the void emerges your doppelganger, a mirror reflecting your essence. But the veil of existence thickens. Is this being a perfect replica still you, or simply a whisper of your former self, a mere echo reverberating through time and space? The boundaries of identity blur, and we are left pondering the nature of continuity, memory, and the self. So, too, we confront the paradox of the burden of proof, a tension that threads through our debates, a dance of claims and counterclaims spiraling through the vastness of thought. As we engage in discussions, we must consider how proof slips through our fingers like sand. A constant shifting of expectations complicates the pursuit of truth even further. Thus, this exploration becomes not merely a philosophical jaunt, but an embrace of the complexities that define our very existence. As twilight envelops the mind, we discover that our identities, our beliefs, our very sense of self, are not solid stones, but fluid reflections, ever-changing like the whispers of time itself. And as we ponder these intricacies, we find ourselves lulled into a serene contemplation, held gently by the notion that perhaps, in embracing uncertainty, we discover the most profound truths of all. Imagine a pill, a small, unassuming capsule, nestled quietly in an open palm. A mere whisper of a promise and invitation to erase the shadows that linger on the edge of our consciousness. The thought itself dances quietly in the mind as we ponder this. If it could gently wash away the memories of our most difficult moments, would we embrace the relief it offers, or flinch away from the truth it conceals? What if this little pill could remove the echo of a voice lost in the chill of death, the bitter sting of betrayal that quietly festers, or the weight of an overwhelming personal failure? Picture yourself holding that possibility, like a delicate treasure that could grant you a clean slate. Each painful memory, each haunting recollection, could drift away like autumn leaves swept by the wind, leaving you feeling lighter in ways you never thought possible. Yet, a question lingers, like mist in the morning light. Would this pill truly bring happiness, or would it extract something precious from the essence of who you are? At first glance, the elegance of this idea is captivating. It beckons us with sounds of liberation, of freedom from the burdens we carry. Those painful memories, like weary travelers, replay endlessly in our minds. Each replay a reminder of moments we'd rather forget. For someone lost in the aftermath of trauma, a pill like this might feel like a miracle, a promise of fresh beginnings. Imagine, if you will, a soul haunted by the aftermath of a car accident, a fear that grips them even in stillness, siphoning away the ease of life. With a gentle swallow, that memory could fade, leaving behind a blank canvas upon which to paint anew, carefree and unafraid. Life, in that shimmering vision, transforms into something simpler, lighter, almost ethereal. Yet, surely, the questions do not stand still, do they? Like persistent butterflies, they flutter around us, unsettling the calm. What, then, becomes of the wisdom nestled within those painful experiences, the lessons that lurk behind the veil of anguish? Each searing moment, every tear shed, teaches us softly, even if the understanding blooms slowly in the garden of our hearts, that very person who navigated a grim car accident may emerge, bruised yet transformed, with a profound appreciation for a life's fragile beauty, a resilience that might dim beneath the surface should the dance with pain be stilled. Pain, for all its clutches of difficulty, molds us, shapes us into something unrepeatable. It beckons us to reflect, to reevaluate the very essence of our desires and dreams. But then, who are we, truly? Without the fabric of our memories, our life's narrative, woven with threads of joy and sorrow alike, goes unnoticed yet. It is this intricate tapestry that casts our identities. Should we roll back the painful threads? Do we risk erasing parts of ourselves we've painstakingly stitched together? Consider, if you will, a soul who has weathered the storm of a tumultuous breakup, the heartache stretching its fingers across their past. That journey, full of heartache, has surely taught them the depths of their desires, illuminating what they seek in a partner. In love, with the power of the pill, they may erase the ache of loss, yet in doing so, they might also obliterate the clarity, the understanding, the light that emerged from that darkness. Would they not dismiss a piece of their story, a chapter that, though riddled with tears, led to understanding? And so, time unfurls, raising yet another contemplation, the ripple effects of erasing bad memories. Should the weight of pain dissipate, do we not risk stepping unwittingly into the shadows of the past again? Someone who forgets the haunted echoes of a failed venture might find gold-flecked promises before them, all too familiar, yet untouched by wisdom. Without the lessons, those invaluable guides, shaped by experience, might they, unknowingly, dance once more upon the precipice of repetition. In essence, do we not lose the ability to truly grow and evolve if we choose to overlook the very warnings that shape our paths? Yet amidst the swirling currents of thought, we must pause, acknowledging that some memories burrow deep within, too painful to bear. The spectre of trauma can carve scars into the soul, remnants that do not so easily vanish. For those tethered in the embrace of post-traumatic stress, the notion of erasing those tormenting memories unfolds as both blessing and curse, a summons to brave the depths of healing, to reclaim the light that remains hidden. Thus, as we lay the possibilities before us, we are left with that haunting question hovering just out of reach: what does it truly mean to forget? And as we drift in this contemplative space, the answer, like a dance in the twilight, remains elusive, quietly waiting for each of us to uncover the truth, shrouded yet shimmering, just waiting to be known. In the soft twilight of thought, a question gently unfurls, lingering like the last remnants of a fading dream. Should one seek to erase the shadows of memory that haunt the corridors of the mind, a widely accepted belief gently whispers that some memories, those shrouded in pain and regret, ought to be purged, cast adrift like autumn leaves in a fleeting breeze. It is a comforting notion, alluring, yet it beckons with a quiet challenge, a gentle tug toward the depths of a hidden truth. Imagine, if you will, a solitary soul, adrift in a sea of recollections. Among the many stories woven into their being lies a singular moment, a decision that unfurled a chain of events, leading to an irreplaceable loss of friendship, a dream, a piece of themselves left behind in the wake of time. Picture them standing at the edge of their consciousness, where the weight of guilt is a familiar cloak, wrapping around their hearts with tender, yet unforgiving threads. They have learned, oh yes, the lessons etched into the fabric of their existence, yet they grapple with an aching question: would the erasure of this solitary scar enhance their journey, or would it leave an unnameable emptiness adrift among their other cherished experiences? The intricacies of memory swirl like mist, delicate and elusive. Each recollection, once crisp and clear, drifts and shifts with the currents of emotion, reshaped by the gentle fingers of time. With every revisit, the story meanders, its details blurred, colored by the hues of new experiences, the tempering touch of our biases. As one replays those unwelcome memories, the weight can deepen, growing heavier like a stone cast into still water, sending ripples through the fabric of their being. So we ponder, in the act of deletion, do we untangle the knot or merely obscure the thread that leads us back to self-understanding? To peel back the layers of this dilemma, a moral tapestry reveals itself. Should the power to erase arise in society's hands, what of our responsibilities? Would we become weary architects of our own detachment, seeking the bliss of amnesia rather than the edification of our trials? Might relationships become malnourished, each scar healed without the sweet salve of reconciliation? Would communities collectively opt to forget the teardrops of history, evading rather than embracing the lessons born from the ashes of pain? Memory, dear wanderer, is not a solitary island. It is a vast ocean, woven into the very essence of our collective identity. It shapes not only our individual paths, but also carves the contours of our shared humanity. In the face of the sleeping pill dilemma, we confront the essence of happiness itself. Is it mere absence of pain, or perhaps a deeper communion with our own story? True joy often lingers in the byways of grief, nestled amongst memories that evoke both sorrow and warmth. A soul who has loved unlost may find solace in the remnants of laughter or in the quiet strength birthed from their trials. If the shadows were to vanish, would the light endure, or would the laughter dim in its absence? Happiness and pain dance together in an intricate waltz, making it difficult to discern one from the other. Ultimately, the sleeping pill dilemma unfurls a tapestry of choice, beckoning us into a labyrinth of introspection. Some may choose the pill, cradled in the relief it promises, eager to escape the burdens of their past. Others might embrace their memories, despite the discomfort, recognizing that these threads are woven into the very fabric of their existence. Neither path bears the mark of righteousness. Each is a reflection of an individual journey, shaped by the contours of experience and the essence of self. The question, my dear seeker, lingers in the air like a whisper at the edge of awareness. Would you, if given the chance, relinquish your pain? Or would you choose to carry it, knowing that it is but one part of the intricate mosaic that defines who you are? This riddle invites contemplation, a gentle exploration of what it means to be fully human, for we are shaped by our memories, yet not forever bound by them. We carry our sorrows, yes, but we also learn to heal, to bloom amidst the ache, as the twilight deepens, and the answers drift just beyond our reach. In the quiet corners of the mind, a question often lingers, like an elusive shadow. What if the choices we face are more than mere options, but rather pathways that lead us into a labyrinth of our own making? This mysterious realm of decision-making, deceptively complex, invites us to wander, yet ensnares us in an endless cycle of decision-making loop, ever elusive, just beyond the reach of resolution. Imagine for a moment a scene bathed in the soft glow of a flickering neon light. Before you, a row of vending machines stand sentinel, each one brimming with an array of tantalizing choices, snacks beckoning like whispers of sweet temptation. You feel the familiar stirrings of hunger and excitement. Yet as your gaze drifts from one selection to the next, the overwhelming abundance magnifies your uncertainty. Should you choose the healthier option, the more indulgent one, or the one that fits best into your budget? Each choice seems to hum with a symphony of consequences, evoking thoughts of regret and longing. As time drifts, 10 minutes can slip away like water through fingers. You still stand, your finger hovering in the air, caught in a silent battle between desire and indecision. This is but a fleeting glimpse into the phenomenon, as the decision-making loop, a labyrinth where clarity evaporates, leaving behind a mist of contemplation. With the veil of uncertainty drawn close, we embark on a journey to uncover the desires that shape us. And yet, within this dance of options, we may find ourselves spiraling deeper into contemplation, burdened by the burdens of perfectionism. Perhaps a more poignant illustration dances in your mind, the story of a young soul, torn between the esteemed reverence of medicine and the liberating allure of artistry, to where the white coat requires years of dedication, an unwavering commitment to precision, a path etched with certainty, yet bound by a rigidity that stifles creative breath. Conversely, the artist's way flows like a river, vibrant but fraught with the enigmatic tides of financial uncertainty. In the reverberation of their internal debate, days dissolve into weeks, and soon months blur into an endless search for answers that remain perpetually out of reach. As you navigate these waters, consider the tempest that brews within high-stakes choices. Picture a soldier, heart pounding in the cacophony of combat, faced with a decision between advancing into the unknown or retreating into safety. Hesitation in such moments can be like a thief in the night, stealing clarity and leaving chaos in its wake. Yet those who navigate such domains learn swiftly to carve through the doubt, not allowing fear to anchor them in the swirling eddies of indecision. At the heart of this loop lies a profound truth, whispered by the shadows: fear. Fear of failure, regret, the unknown. The mind spins tales, murmurings of what if, and perhaps there's something better just ahead. This cyclical uncertainty plays upon our very instincts, rendering us frozen in place, caught in a web spun by our thirst for assurance. Yet, surrendering to the stillness of non-action, this, too, is its own decision, one that often breeds a deeper frustration than any misstep could conjure. A sense of clarity emerges when we begin to understand this intricate fabric of choice, recognizing that no decision can offer the comfort of absolute certainty releases us from the grip of perfectionism. Each choice we make is but a bridge, connecting us to new experiences, adorned with lessons that blossom, even in the soil of missteps. Herein lies the power to accept the transient nature of choices, to grow with them. Imagine now the simpler joys of limiting choices, the serenity that comes with crafting criteria before a decision unfolds a gentle structure within the chaos. If your heart desires a new car, perhaps safety, efficiency, and price can guide your thoughts, like a compass directing a wayward traveler, easing the burden that accumulates with each comparative glance. To shatter the stranglehold of the decision-making loop requires that enchanting nudge toward action, setting limits, a timer on your dinner deliberation, or a predetermined deadline. To step into the unknown spells freedom from a spiral that perpetuates without conclusion. With each small push, cascading steps become a rhythm, a journey into clarity. Yet as the layers unravel, try to reframe how you consider each decision not as anchors of permanence, but as soft ripples in a vast lake of possibility. Each step is a mere experiment in life's grand design, a job switch, a career pivot, an artistic leap. Embrace these paths as playful adventures rather than daunting ultimatums. Listen to the voices of trusted companions as they illuminate hidden angles, providing insights that dance along the periphery of your awareness. As you explore this delicate tapestry woven with strands of fear, hope, and choice, embrace the expansiveness of what lies ahead. Within the dance of uncertainty resides the possibility of growth, and with it, a gentle invitation to immerse yourself fully in the ebb and flow of decisions. The path out of the decision-making loop, a fluid journey steeped in acceptance, action, and grace awaits. In leaving behind the confines of hesitation, you create space for the mysteries of life to unfold, each choice a whisper guiding you further into the dreamlike voyage of existence. Perhaps, then, the heart of the decision-making loop is not merely a conundrum to be solved, but an unspoken hymn, urging us to navigate the world not by the fear of what lies ahead, but by the courage to explore what can be discovered just beyond the horizon. In a world that thrives on certainties, have you ever paused to ponder a question that lingers, like a shadow at dusk? What if the essence of goodness, this idea of being all-loving and perfectly benevolent, is not as simple as it seems? It is a thought, a quiet invitation to explore the depths of existence, where mystery and familiarity intertwine like tendrils of smoke. Imagine, if you will, a time long past, where philosophers and theologians gathered in dimly lit chambers, whispering reverently about a divine being, a deity crafted from the very fabric of benevolence itself. This concept, this radiant notion of omnibenevolence, held them captive, bringing both comfort and disquiet, like a lullaby that ebbs and flows, yet reveals a deeper enigma within its melody. As this ancient discussion unfolded, it began to expose a peculiar conflict that dances in the twilight of understanding. How does this boundless goodness coexist with the stark reality of suffering and evil? If a deity, a figure of all that is pure and loving, exists, then why do wounds and sorrow paint the canvas of our lives? Pain seems to brush against every soul, whispered by the winds of natural disasters, diseases, and the shadows cast by human hands. Why, we wonder, does this omnipotent being allow such chaos to flourish? It is a riddle that invites contemplation, drawing us tenderly into its depths. The notion of free will emerges softly, like a gentle sigh, offering a possible thread through the tapestry of existence. It suggests that perhaps, to truly grasp the essence of humanity, we must wield the power to choose, even the choice to cause harm. The existence of evil, then, may be but a necessary side effect of our ability to act freely, to love unconditionally, and to experience moments of courage that resonate deeply within our hearts. Yet, amidst this reasoning, an unsettling truth remains. For the suffering that arises from nature's whims, earthquakes, storms, and diseases seems to stand apart, untouched by the hand of human choice. Could these trials serve a greater purpose, perhaps intended as tests to refine our spirits in the crucible of adversity? Such thoughts drift like soft clouds, momentarily resolving the tumult, yet still leaving questions unasked. Why would a benign deity design a world necessitating such immense suffering? And here lies the rub. Wrapped in the layers of our understanding, there are those who propose a divine wisdom so profound that our human minds can hardly fathom it. To trust in this wisdom require venturing into a realm far beyond our comprehension, embracing the inexplicable suffering as part of a universal narrative we are yet to grasp. Yet, this engagement with the divine can feel paradoxical. If benevolence exists on an entirely different plane, one that allows for confusion and pain, how can we grasp its essence? Can we call it good if it remains lost in the folds of our limited perception? Hovering above these musings is the ancient dilemma of morality itself, a question posed by thinkers for millennia. Does a deity dictate what is good, or is goodness an eternal truth, thriving independently of divine whim? This inquiry resonates softly through the corridors of thought, beckoning us to explore the nature of our understanding. If goodness is merely a construct of divine decree, does it not risk becoming arbitrary, swirling among the leaves of uncertainty? As layers of thought unfurl, we find ourselves drawn to yet another perspective, that of parental love. A parent might allow discomfort for the greater good, a vaccine designed to protect against more severe ailments. Likewise, could not earthly suffering serve a similar purpose, planting seeds of growth meant to bloom in the hearts of those who endure? Yet, here too, unanswered questions linger like a sweet, haunting fragrance, entwining themselves within our reflections. If indeed a deity, both all-loving and all-powerful, has the capacity to facilitate goodness without the burden of pain, why allow suffering to persist? With each passing thought comes the acknowledgement of justice, the kind woven into the fabric of divine morality. Yet, in the woven history of humanity, justice appears to waver, often leaving innocent hearts bewildered, while the guilty roam free. Some propose that justice exists, but is delayed, suggesting a cycle of repercussions waiting quietly in the wings of the afterlife. Such beliefs offer respite, but leave us yearning for answers in the silence that follows. And so, we find ourselves contemplating this magnificent tapestry of existence. The omnibenevolence conflict prods us to reflect upon the very nature of goodness itself, calling into question our understanding of morality through the lens of human experience. A deity's goodness may flourish on a level so easily discerned, dancing at the edge of our awareness, leaving us with whispers that ripple through our consciousness. Ultimately, this exploration evokes a lingering tension, cradling the fragile balance between belief and logic. For those who tread the path of faith, an acceptance of mystery becomes paramount, a soft embrace of the unknown wrapped in trust. And for those who question, the unfolding conflict compels a deeper inquiry into the nature of suffering and morality, resonating through the quiet spaces of our thoughts. In the ebb and flow of these musings, we are reminded that some truths may remain elusive, their meaning resting gently in the folds of our understanding, and perhaps, in contemplating these mysteries, we may unveil the secrets that whisper softly in the silence, waiting patiently for us to hear their call. Asterisk asterisk, the duck-rabbit paradox, a journey through perception asterisk asterisk. Have you ever gazed upon an image, expecting to see one thing, only to find something entirely different hiding just beneath the surface? A fleeting question, doesn't it? Yet, it drifts through the shadows of your mind, whispering at the edges of your awareness. There exists a particular illustration, simple in its lines, yet profound in its implications. This is not merely an image. It is a doorway leading into the intricate labyrinth of perception, the enigmatic realm where reality dances with interpretation. Picture, if you will, a drawing, a curious creation that stirs intrigue. At first glance, the viewer may see a duck with its gentle bill and soft contours inviting a look of familiarity. But wait a moment later, the very same image transforms, revealing the ears of a rabbit, poised and alert. It is both a duck and a rabbit, yet cannot be seen as both at once. Here lies the enchanting peculiarity, the duck-rabbit problem, a delightful riddle wrapped in a veil of simplicity. In the quiet corners of our minds, the magic of this duality emerges. When one gazes upon this drawing, their brain instinctively arrives at a decision, a split-second interpretation guided by experience, context, and the murmur of cultural resonance. If we cast this image amidst the pastel hues of spring, the soft echo of Easter may whisper, "Rabbits abound." Yet, place it by a sunlit pond, and suddenly the duck claims dominion over the canvas. Here, our perceptions are not fixed, but rather fluid, molded by the gentle nudges of our surroundings, as if we are leaves drifting upon the current of a slowly flowing river. This riddle was brought forth into the light by the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein, a thinker who wove complexity into simplicity through his explorations. In his contemplations, he proposed that our eyes do not merely take in what they view. Rather, they weave the fabric of interpretation, threading together reality from the raw materials of our senses. When faced with this duck-rabbit dichotomy, our brains engage in a silent dialogue, a decision-making process cloaked in the subtlety of thought, moving so swiftly that we scarcely notice its passage. Yet, it is this hidden dance that unveils an eternal truth. Perception shapes meaning, crafting a reality that is as subjective as of the person witnessing it. And so, a question arises: how much of what we see is painted by our expectations? If, in one moment, we perceive a duck and, in the next, shift to glimpse the rabbit, we are reminded of our mind's remarkable flexibility. It is a spellbinding ability, the capacity to switch our interpretations, like the turning of a page in a book, revealing a story anew. External cues may guide us down different paths of understanding, inviting us to embrace alternate perspectives rather than becoming ensnared in the rigidity of our initial thoughts. The image hasn't changed, only our perception has danced beneath the shimmering surface. This notion stretches beyond art, weaving its way into the very fabric of our lives. Each encounter, each moment, can hold myriad interpretations. A fleeting glance at a traffic jam may be seen as a frustrating plight, or perhaps a reminder of the hurried heart in pursuit of an urgent need. Life itself often presents kaleidoscopic views of reality, where opportunity and obstacle elegantly entwine, relying on our unique framing of experience to reveal their true essence. Nestled within this gentle exploration is an invitation to embrace empathy, extending a hand of understanding in moments of disagreement, where differing interpretations bloom in the minds of others. What if, in these moments, one could see the rabbit through the eyes of another instead of fixating solely on the duck, recognizing that our own view forms but one slice of the grand pie of perception, encourages an open heart, an expanded mind. Psychologists have delved into the enigma of the duck rabbit and its kin, revealing that our interpretations are anything but passive. They are alive, intricately influenced by our past dances with experience, cultural tapestries, and the ephemeral state of our emotions. A tender heart, light and joyous, might perceive playfulness in the paradox, while a shadowed mind, cloaked in frustration, may find only confusion. Within this poignant journey lies the recognition that perception is as personal as it is shared. As we unspool this riddle, we reach toward broader questions, contemplating reality itself. If two souls stand before the same image, and yet their views diverge, can we truly claim a singular objective truth exists? Wittgenstein murmured that meaning is not inherent, but forms through the act of framing and interpretation. You see, the very act of perception is a tapestry woven from individual threads, each contributing to a unique picture. In this continuous dance of understanding, the duck rabbit beckons us to remain ever curious, to embrace the uncertainties that flutter at the edges of our experience. With open minds and expansive hearts, we can glimpse the beauty of alternate viewpoints, realizing that every frame offers wisdom, replete with possibility. Thus, the riddle endures, a simple drawing laden with profound lessons, reminding us that the world is not merely as it appears, but as we choose to perceive it. Whether we glimpse a duck or a rabbit, or perhaps even something all its own, we are swept into the currents of wonder and complexity that define our existence. The duck-rabbit problem is an exquisite invitation to delve deeper into the kaleidoscope of reality, a reminder that within the delicate lines of perception in a universe waiting to be discovered, and so we drift, caught in a reverie of thought, as the gentle flow of curiosity lulls us into a state of contemplation, painting the world in hues of possibility, whispering of the mysteries just out of reach. As you ponder this journey, may the question linger softly, like the remnants of a forgotten dream. What else might you discover if you traverse the boundaries of perception and seek the hidden meanings that lie just beneath the surface? In the quiet corners of our minds, a question stirs, like a soft murmur at the edge of awareness. What does it truly mean to be free? In a world bustling with choices, we often accept, without question, that freedom is the simple act of choosing what we desire, when we desire it. But what if, beneath this apparent simplicity, lies a subtle complexity, an intricate tapestry woven with threads of choice that betray the very essence of that freedom? Picture, if you will, a figure standing before two contrasting doors, each a portal into divergent realms of experience. One door opens to a warm, inviting room, a sanctuary adorned with familiar comforts, a sanctuary where every piece of furniture seems to whisper sweet nothings, where delicious aromas float lazily in the air, and the soundtrack of life plays only the melodies of delight. The other door, however, leads to the unexpected, the uncharted, promising an experience cloaked in uncertainty, one that could be either splendid or mundane, but undeniably different. In this moment of choice, intuition guides our rational minds, and it becomes all too apparent why one might gravitate toward the first door, why comfort and predictability feel like a gentle embrace. Yet, with every careful step taken toward familiarity, there lies a ripple of concern. By perpetually choosing the comforting, can we not also find ourselves encased within a bubbleless sanctuary that slowly constricts, stifling exploration and new discovery? With each familiar preference dutifully reinforced, the world narrows as if bracing itself against the winds of change. Yet this moment of choice carries deeper implications, for it is essential to consider the true origins of our preferences. While we may champion the autonomy of our decisions, the prevailing currents of upbringing, culture, and environment shape our very whims. The spice of our youth, parenting's gentle hand, societal norms all weave a narrative that appears personal, yet often rests upon a foundation built by influences unseen. A favorite dish may taste familiar, yet its roots lie tangled in the flavorful soil of past experiences. Experience that feels intimate, but may not be inherently ours. Let us ponder the world around us, that contemporary labyrinth where the allure of optimization entices so many. Guided by data and algorithms, we encounter a tempting seduction to routinely seek the best options in our careers, relationships, and nightly entertainment. but as we surrender to the whispering suggestions of streaming platforms or shopping sites, do we not risk creating a cocoon and insular experience tailored to our past, to the very preferences that anchor us to the known? Like a delicate spider weaving its web, we may inadvertently become entrapped in a repetition that stifles our capacity to venture into the exhilarating unknown. Allow yourself to drift through this idea. What if true freedom lies not in the pursuit of our well-known preferences, but rather in embracing the unfamiliar? Imagine, for a moment, a person steeped in one genre of music who chooses to attend a concert of an entirely different style. With each note that floats through the air, the boundaries of likes and dislikes blur, and new possibilities shimmer on the horizon, a world expanded by the sheer act of stepping outside the norm. In contemplating the notion of true experience, one remembers a philosophical thought experiment. Imagine a machine, wondrous and immaculate, that simulates every experience you could ever desire. A life filled with pleasure, satisfaction, and success awaits inside this mesmerizing contraption. And yet, most would hesitate, for a shadowed truth lingers in the recesses of the mind. Even if it offers the pinnacle of preferences, it cannot replace the unfiltered tapestry of reality, the unpredictability that colors our existence in shades we cannot depend upon or control. As we navigate this realm of paradox, consider how spontaneity sometimes becomes a gentle breeze, ushering in life's finest moments. The unexpected encounter, the sunrise over uncharted landscapes, the thrill of trying out a new venture. These scenarios bloom from the framework of pre-established preferences, but from the acceptance of uncertainty. By allowing ourselves to stray from rationality, to relinquish the heavy chains of what we think we know, we weave the fabric of serendipity, and in doing so, we expand the very essence of our being. And here lies the heartbeat of the paradox, a rhythmic pulse echoing the tension between the rational and the boundless. While rationality beckons us toward optimization, whether through choices rooted in self-knowledge or convenient habit, freedom whispers of choices that lead us into the thrumming unknown. True freedom is not merely the summation of optimal choices, but rather the profound understanding that exploration, when seemingly illogical, can reveal vibrant vistas of experience beyond our limited horizon. As we gently ponder this enigmatic dance between preference and shackles, we are drawn once again to question our own lives. Do we remain prisoners to our routines? Are our choices genuinely ours? Or are they suffused with the gentle tales of external forces? Awakened by this inquiry, we can begin to reshape our understanding, delving beyond mere comfort into the heart of exploration. Consider the seemingly trivial act of selecting a dish at your favorite restaurant, and yet, within this small choice lies a universe of possibilities. By daring to explore the unfamiliar flavors, we might unearth something extraordinary, perhaps discovering a new favorite dish previously hidden. Similarly, in the realm of relationships, while gravitating toward those who mirror our own preferences, we may unintentionally build walls around ourselves, curtailing opportunities for growth. By immersing ourselves in the stories of others who challenge our views, we unveil profound transformations within. Thus, in the sprawling arenas of industry and governance, we see echoes of this paradox nestled amid the push toward efficiency and predictability, a tendency that sometimes places transient gains over bold innovation. In this space, creativity awaits, teasing at the edges, and cultivating a climate alive with potential requires a willingness to embrace the unfamiliar. Indeed, the preference paradox invites us not only to reconsider our understanding of freedom, but also to appreciate the exquisite dance of choice. It urges us to realize that true freedom, if found not in the unyielding grasp of the familiar, but in the tender exploration of life's endless offerings. By willingly stepping beyond the comfort of our preferences, by surrendering to life's unpredictable beauty, we can begin to cultivate a life enriched with diversity, mystery, and meaning, an existence that beckons us to wander farther and dream deeper, always embracing the unknown. Once, in the vast expanse of thought, a question unfurled like a whispering leaf, beckoning those who dared to listen. What if meaning is not simply an echo of our thoughts, but a reflection of the world that cradles us? It was the philosopher Hilary Putnam who, in the fading light of 1975, dared to suggest a mystery, a glimmering puzzle that danced at the edge of understanding, one that would require us to explore the enigmatic shadows of language and perception. Imagine, in the dim recesses of the cosmos, two planets, Earth and its elusive twin, which we shall call Twin Earth. They appear, at first glance, remarkably similar, both cloaked in azure seas, both adorned with verdant landscapes, and both home to beings who look upon the world with curious eyes. A gentle breeze carries the same song of nature through their shared skies. Yet, beneath this harmonious facade lies a truth that diverges like two paths in a forest, one so subtly astounding that it can lull you into contemplation. On Twin Earth, the very essence of water, familiar to us in its crystalline purity, resembles what we know, but is crafted from a different brew, unknown chemical compound we might refer to as XYZ. Oh, how tempting it is to dismiss this distinction as trivial. Yet, therein lies the heart of the mystery. For when the word water dances on the lips of a Twin Earth inhabitant, it sings not of H2O, but of something altogether different, XYZ, a name that resonates with its own unique story. Imagine a figure, a denizen of Earth in the year 1750, for they walk a path obscured by the fog of ignorance. Neither they nor their twin counterpart is aware of the subtle distinctions that encase their lives. Each speaks of water, but what they articulate is as distinct as the lazy shimmer of light reflecting on a still lake. When the earthling utters the word, their thoughts orbit around H2O, while the twin speaks of a substance wrapped in the enchantment of XYZ. Here, we find a profound revelation that meaning does not merely emerge from what we know, but is tethered gently to the very fabric of our reality. Over gentle tides of thought, we begin to glimpse a deeper truth. Meaning is a tapestry woven just in the mind's eye, but also crafted from the threads of our surroundings. The streams of language, like a slow river, reveal that even the simplest of experiences pointing to a glass of liquid can echo with differing significance, depending on one's vantage point. Imagine two souls, one from Earth and the other from Twin Earth, each declaring, "This is water." In that moment, a soothing calm settles over the realization that truth, though akin, drifts in different currents. And as the years pass, we cannot help but wonder how knowledge shapes the undulating meanings of the words we wield. In 1750, the Earth dweller, unaware of the shimmering mysteries held within the molecular realm, called this clear liquid water. When the veil of ignorance lifted and scientific minds traversed the landscapes of discovery, transformation ensued. The word reformed like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, now intertwined with the H2O encapsulated. Twin Earth would surely follow suit, wherein their philosophers would eventually uncover XYZ, reshaping the contours of language and understanding. But what becomes of this journey of revelation? As we drift further into the enigma, the thought experiment takes us to the edges of identity. If Earth and Twin Earth diverge in but a singular thread, the essence of their waters, do they remain fundamentally the same? Might not the smallest ripple, like a pebble cast into a pond, reverberate with profound implications? The shroud of familiarity envelops us, yet reminds us that our truths are anchored in the specificities of our existence. Consider, if you will, an Earth wanderer stepping into Twin Earth, where water appears as an old friend. Initially, they might embrace it, unaware of the subtle distinctions that flow beneath the surface. Yet, as understanding unfurls like petals in the morning sun, they begin to perceive XYZ as something unique, separate from the H2O they once called familiar. Here, meaning breathes in synchrony with context, reminding us of the intricate dance we share with our environments. In this stirring reverie, we ponder the depth of meaning itself, especially in this world of burgeoning language and digital echoes. Systems of artificial intelligence may grasp the term water, Yet they may falter in discerning the essence stripped of context and nuance. The reality of H2O versus XYZ drifts like a distant star. The echoes of the twin Earth scenario remind us, ever so gently, that meaning is a delicate construct, harmonizing our thoughts with the world we inhabit. And so, as we wander through this tapestry of thought, we remain enveloped in the mists of contemplation. The twin Earth thought experiment lingers, inviting us to explore the shifting sands of meaning, how it evolves, how it breathes, how it lives within the delicate embrace of earthly experiences. As we close our eyes and let the currents of curiosity carry us, we find ourselves adrift in a profound understanding. Meaning is not solely wrought in our minds. It is nourished by the world that cradles us, and in the spaces between, it whispers secrets waiting to be unveiled. The truth, like a shimmering mirage, holds infinite possibilities, inviting us to drift deeper into the serenity of knowledge yet to be uncovered. ***, the enigmatic dance of delight, a whisper on the pursuit of happiness. ***. What if I told you that the very essence of happiness, that elusive wisp we all chase, often evades the grasp of those who seek it most fervently? It is a riddle wrapped in the gentle folds of time, casting shadows over our understanding, inviting us to question the familiar paths that have long claimed to lead us to joy. Picture, if you will, a traveler on a winding road, whose every step is taken with the intention of unearthing happiness. They traverse meandering paths, each turn promising fulfillment, yet the more they strive, the more they meander into an uncharted wilderness of disappointment and emptiness. This truth, this paradox, whispers softly an ancient tale suggesting that happiness is often a byproduct of life, rather than its direct pursuit. As we delve deeper into this mystery, consider what happiness truly signifies. For many, it conjures images of laughter, a sudden burst of joy rising unbidden in moments of glee, evanescent and beautiful. Intriguingly, like laughter, happiness cannot be coerced. It flourishes when we are awash in the currents of life's simple pleasures, turning our gaze toward the world outside ourselves. The fabric of our existence is woven from these threads, vibrant with experience, rather than the relentless clutches of self-centered desires. Imagine a soul fixated solely on the acquisition of happiness. They arrange their lives as if to orchestrate a symphony of pleasure, dodging trials and the unflattering shadows of inconvenience. But beneath the surface, life unfurls with a monotony, a pale existence, dulled by an insatiable demand for a fleeting joys. As we linger here, we encounter a profound realization. The brightest spark of happiness flickers not in the pursuit itself, but in the embracing of life's meaningful engagements, where deeper connections thrive. Think now of relationships, those delicate threads that bind us together. When we approach friendship or love as mere vessels to fill our own reservoirs of joy, we often find ourselves lost in a quagmire of self-interest. Each interaction, teetering on the brink of transactional evaluation, risks eroding the very foundation of genuine connection. Instead, when we extend our hearts to others, sharing joy and investing in shared moments, happiness unfolds like petals beneath the sun, natural, unforced, a serene testament to our collective experience. Similarly, consider the traveler who engraves the pursuit of career satisfaction upon their destiny. They may chase after the promise of a high salary or the allure of a stress-free existence, yet over time, shadows creep in, unfulfillment gnaws at the edges of their ambition. It is the journey driven by passion, by purpose, that evokes joy, seamlessly intertwining challenges into the rich tapestry of achievement. When the focus shifts from mere pleasure to profound contribution, happiness whispers its secrets, wrapping the seeker in the warmth of fulfillment. The philosopher John Stuart Mill spoke of this enigma with a discerning eye, acknowledging that happiness emerges not from direct pursuit, but as a radiant byproduct of engaging with life's meaningful endeavors, causes that spark our passions, creative pursuits that set our souls aflame, and acts of service that intertwine our lives with others. In lending our focus outward, happiness finds a way to flow inward, quietly illuminating the corners of our existence. Yet, even as we seek the pleasures of life, we must tread carefully upon the path of ephemeral joy. Short-lived indulgences can spark brief moments of delight, yet reliance upon them births a cycle of diminishing returns. Hedonic adaptation, as it is known. Once the thrill fades, we find ourselves at the threshold of want, chasing that once fleeting delight in an infinite loop. As we venture into the realms of experience, studies reaffirm this truth. Our hearts swell not from the acquisition of material goods, but rather from the weaving of memories through travel, the laughter shared with loved ones, and the lessons learned under the watchful eye of time. Experiences, rich and resonant, connect us to the human tapestry, creating legacies that remain etched in our hearts long after material possessions have faded from view. Yet, the hidden layers of this paradox reveal another insight. Happiness often dances alongside effort, entwined in the embrace of sacrifice. Consider the marathon runner who finds joy in the grueling training, their body rebelling yet spirit soaring, and upon completion, an effulgent sense of pride envelops their weary heart. Such is the nature of motherhood, of ambitious projects, each challenge steeped in labor, unfurling rewards that illuminate our sense of purpose. As we navigate this labyrinth, we encounter the quiet truth that constant self-evaluation, the perpetual measuring of our happiness, often leaves us unfulfilled. The dream vacation, meticulously planned, may devolve into an endless cycle of checking if joy is sufficient, causing us to overlook the very moments of delight surrounding us. Happiness, most vibrant, springs forth when we are enmeshed in the present, lost in the essence of being, rather than in the arithmetic of joy. The paradox of hedonism does not plead for the dismissal of happiness, rather, it entreats us to reconsider our journey, in shifting our gaze from a singular aim toward pursuits rich with meaning, deep bonds, contributions that lift others, and passions that stir our souls. We may discover happiness nestled in the folds of our existence, a gentle companion rather than a distant prize, as we tread along this winding path, echoing the wisdom of ancient philosophies like Stoicism and Buddhism. We are reminded that true harmony lies in aligning with our values, in savoring life's challenges rather than fleeing to ephemeral pleasures. Here, in the philosophical quiet, we uncover the deep-rooted understanding that the pursuit of happiness often requires us to step back from the ardent chase, to lose ourselves in the earnest flow of life, a flow where the essence of happiness reveals itself in whispers, timeless and profound. Perhaps, then, as we embrace this paradox, we can meander upon fuller, richer lives, where happiness does not stand as the beacon of our quest, but rather blooms softly in the spaces between, a natural companion on our ever-winding journey of existence. And so, we find ourselves left with an open-ended question. Could it be that, in the gentle act of letting go of happiness as a goal, we unfurl the delicate petals of joy, allowing them to flourish in unexpected realms? The answer, like happiness itself, drifts just beyond our fingertips, patiently awaiting discovery.